We are now just 140 days away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to have a lot of connections to the prequels, the originals, and even using Star Wars Legends, also known as the Expanded Universe, as a form of inspirational material to tell a very unique and original story, especially for the character of Palpatine in this film, which definitely is something worth, look forward to in Episode 9 of how Disney and Lucasfilm are going to use that. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that a description of Rey traveling on her speeder, where it's described that she is approaching a large structure built into a canyon that is said to have once been the home of her father's. It's said that eventually Rey goes inside looking for clues about her father's past, where she goes down to the basement of this hidden base, where her father kept many secrets locked away, one of which is said to be an audio transmission of Darth Sidious/Palpatine talking inside of the cloning chamber room, where Rey's father was the one responsible to oversee the clones within the Jakku laboratory. It said that during the Battle of Jakku, Luke Skywalker destroyed all the clones but one, and that one remained where Palpatine's spirit was able to enter into his own clone body. However, it's said that the clone was faulty, and in the transmission that Rey listens to, Palpatine says that he must die, and is able to concentrate with the Force, to let himself perish where he dies, and the spirit is said to exit waiting for an alternative that would focus on a dark side user host. It's said that the clone body was Palpatine's trial run to eternal life just some years after the Battle of Endor, and that he had an interest in other host bodies. It's said that this is JJ's way of providing a callback to the Dark Empire comics, where Palpatine kills himself in front of Luke, where his actual spirit exits his clone body by use of essence transfer. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and why it's very true to the EU. Now, in the EU, in the Dark Empire comics, it's very similar, 90% I would say similar, where Palpatine is in front of Luke, only one clone survives after Luke Skywalker destroys them all, and one clone survives and Palpatine is in his throne and he kills himself, where the energy of Palpatine, the essence transfer technique, is able to transport itself from Palpatine's old body to the new body. So he's basically able to concentrate on the Force to kill himself, not just in the EU, but also now in, of course, Star Wars Episode 9, in the form of an audio transmission that was recorded sometime after the Battle of Endor, and, of course, after the Battle of Jakku. So what's really exciting about this is that this is actually said to be Palpatine's trial run to eternal life by use of his own clone. However, the clone that he jumped into of himself was actually faulty and aged very rapidly, and he ended up just killing himself right then and there, and that's exactly what was recorded. So, what I like about that is that this stays very true to the comics and to the audiobook of Dark Empire, where, yes, there is a moment where Palpatine does indeed kill himself in front of Luke. The exact words in front of Luke were, "Very so, I must now die." And what I like about that is that J.J. Abrams must have really done his research with the EU and is trying to stay true to it as much as possible in The Rise of Skywalker involving the character of Palpatine. Now, it really does make one wonder now, is he going to do the same exact thing with the Dark Acolyte when he attempts to enter Kylo Ren's body at the very end of this film? Because from all the leaks that we've been hearing about, one of which includes the host body of Kylo Ren getting, of course, corrupted by Palpatine's spirit, and this all takes place after he exits the body of the Dark Acolyte. So it's very possible that this is going to be used as a form of foreshadowing of what Palpatine is going to do to the Dark Acolyte's body at the very end of Episode 9 before he goes into Kylo Ren's. So, very intriguing, I gotta say. JJ really seems to be on top of his game here when it comes to researching everything related to the EU/Legends and how Palpatine was able to survive in the EU after, the original trilogy. I like where this is going. Everything seems to be lining up directly for Palpatine, and I think that the driving force for the hype of this movie, without a doubt, is Palpatine's return. I think it's pretty safe to say that, right? When we look at the teaser trailer, by far, the big highlight was Palpatine's laughter. The mystery behind it all, how is he coming back, what's really happening here, and now you can really see how that's all really tying itself together here in Episode 9. Now, the last thing that I do want to go over is how Rey's father was the one who supervised the clone bodies of Palpatine, and while he was gone, Luke Skywalker destroyed most of them, except for one that was hidden away. But that clone was a faulty clone, and that's why Palpatine had to kill himself by using the Force. This also makes us look at Luke's death in a different light. Did Luke essentially kill himself? You know, to a certain extent, we do know that yes, he was exhausted, and, you know, he used the Force so much that the Force projection technique was just too much for him. But it's very possible that maybe Luke let himself go, you know, pretty much willingly at the very end of episode 8. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.